Hello, friends. We are back. We are back. Okay, we are going to head into our next session for the day. Joining me up on stage, we have SJ from Justuno. SJ is the partner marketing manager at Justuno, and in this role, she collaborates with Justuno users and other tools in your tech stack to deliver features and strategies that transform on-site visitors into customers. Her background involves sales, customer success, and a twist archaeology, which I love. Given her various perspectives to pull from to help these brands create really amazing one-to-one experiences on site. So SJ, welcome to the stage. We're so happy to have you.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. I love that it's been going great today.
Absolutely. And with that said, my love, the stage is all yours. Take it away.
Okay, fabulous. Let's see here. You can all hear me and see A-okay. Wonderful. So yes, I had my intro. SJ here from Just Uno, and at Just Uno, we are all about the on-site experience. If you haven't heard about us, we focus on pop-ups and curating those to create just multiple touch points on a website that gets someone to the end point of being your customer, and then we just continue that engagement through pop-ups on your website. So if you haven't explored pop-ups, these are more you can think about them like personal shoppers enabled on your website. And we're pulling a lot of great data from your e-commerce platform, maybe other tools that you're using, and we're feeding that all in to create this experience on a website that's via pop-ups. So what I'll get into today is, let me click in here, is the customer journey flow on a website, but I'm going to get into that enhanced version. If you're on this webinar, we are talking about kind of that last minute holiday, Black Friday, Cyber Monday, like what can we do? And although this says enhance, this is like what you can do to enhance what you already have enabled. So for example, if you have your email flows and your SMS flows, like all of that would be helpful to create what this customer journey flow is on site. So I'll get into return visitors, probably not someone that we think about as often as we should, right? We're really focused on new visitors typically. We'll get into using cart and profile data, like I mentioned before. So just really solid data that you are collecting either outside of Justuno or on Justuno. And then I'll get into what we call embedded experiences and how that ties into segmentation. So hopefully not any scary words here. So what I want to start off with when it comes to, let me actually backtrack. I want to make sure I didn't skip. Okay. So when it comes to targeting past that new visitor or that lead capture that everyone has on their website, right? We typically see kind of the same lead capture served over and over. Now, with the holidays, we typically do advise like, hey, let's not prioritize the lead capture right away. Let's prioritize showing your sales or your offer in the form of a pop-up. But in many cases, we have clients where they are primarily focused on lead capture. And I've been able to work one on one with those brands and setting up that pop up. So that's where I really get into gamification with clients when it's like we're trying to, one, improve opt in rates, two, really increase engagement, and be really different than what's out there in the market, whether they're on like a similar competitor site or just searching another website, right? Pop-ups are a great way to stand out. And here's some gamification options. We really want to approach gamification with kind of like a sleekness, nothing that feels too salesy or something that is going to feel like it cheapens your brand at all. So you can see things like the classic spin to win. I love those because they're very easy to brand right now. And now is the time to lean into kind of that like fun holiday vibe or just like the fun version of your brand. And a spin to win is a great way to do that. We've also been seeing tons of success with the kind of like pick your own discount or select a secret prize, like you can tell here above. And these are all examples in our template library, which means that it's already built out to be responsive on your website, which is something super key to just delivering a nice experience. And what you're doing in these designs is swapping things out like the images, some colors, and some text here and there to go live. So that's where this sits when I am trying to really approach all visitors and get engagement with everyone outside of that very first visit. So I would hit up gamification, lots of options here. If you don't want to go with the spin to win that maybe doesn't feel quite as on brand, the secret discount, choose your own discount is a great place to start for the holidays. Next, I'll get into kind of personalization and building this whole on-site experience. So this is like one factor of that. we all talk about personalization. So with Just Uno, where we come into play is like, okay, how do you even get the details you need to even start personalizing on the website and in other channels? I think it's a little easier to think about personalization in email and SMS, right? But that same train of thought can be applied to your website here. So with personalization, I am going to start off just here with like lead captures. And this is our template library where we have pop-ups already made out to capture at least one or two pieces of data. And that's really all you need to enable segmentation this holiday. I wouldn't suggest like it's November 13th, right? We can't, there's probably no time. We maybe don't even have the data to get too much into personalization, but this is us meeting the needs of clients where that email, that SMS is important to capture with all of this new traffic so that you can prioritize retargeting later on. And the beauty of lead captures is that you can swap out however many lead captures you want on your website to target different types of visitors. So you'll see maybe if you're a skincare brand, for example, this first one, it has a beautiful image. It has multiple steps where you're capturing maybe like zip code, maybe their shopping preference here too. And that's all you're sending over to email or SMS land to create different campaigns. I love all of these designs. You'll notice like maybe these first four, right? They were designed by an awesome partner of ours, Impossible Machine, which is an agency. And they're really great because they, one, include all of the data points that you may want to capture. And they're easy to update in terms of the image, and everything is responsive. And then we get down to these bottom ones, and these are a little different because of them being full page takeovers. So I would say that's maybe like a little bit more of an aggressive approach to your on-site lead capture, and something that if you are really wanting to gather those leads, can definitely approach the holiday with a full page. But I would just caution you with this time to really prioritize in showing your main Black Friday Cyber Monday offer. And if you are going to show your lead capture, having that offer sync with what your main offer is. And the main reason is we don't want to cause any confusion. That is the number one thing that will lead to someone leaving your site. And if you don't have a nice pop up set up to save them, then they will for sure be leaving your website. So I'll hop over here into what I mentioned earlier too, of like something that contributes to what this whole enhanced experience is. And that's going to be subtle segmentation and targeting. And subtle just means you have maybe one workflow in Justuno that has a couple different branches split out. And that's so you can deliver, at least like in a massive way, the most custom or curated experience to each. So here's a really classic workflow, as what we call them in Justuno. You have an enrollment trigger. So something where like which visitor should even fall into this workflow. And then we have our A and B branches. So we're targeting new visitors that are coming from Facebook. That's very typical of a user in Justuno, kind of using these workflows and wanting to target those paid campaigns. Since you've already invested a lot in that, we want to make sure they stay on site. We want to feed them into other channels. So you can, that's kind of an obvious one why it's priority segment. And then we have return visitors that have not engaged at all. So maybe you were one of the lucky few sites where they returned back to your website and they're still in that browsing mode. That's probably going to be a different experience than your new visitors that are coming from a paid ad. That maybe is a little bit of just a different call to action there. And you can see you're able to serve up different designs. That leads into the whole segmentation. Not only are you segmenting here above, but you can also use that segmentation to deliver different images that relay, maybe it's more of like a lifestyle image versus a product image here. So kind of just similar thinking to how you're going through your ads and your different variations there. And then the last step of this whole big enhanced experience is feeding all this information to the rest of your tech stack. So classic, we've got here PostScript on the SMS side. Of course, we've got a two-way sync with Shopify. So the data we have, the data that they have, we're just updating those profiles in real time for you. And then a classic Klaviyo, just feeding into any of those email or SMS syncs that you have. And that applies to any ESP or SMS provider that you're using. So let's get into a little bit of like that example of what we can think about when we're getting into gamifying. So specifically gamifying past the welcome, which is past that lead capture, maybe it's a spin to win. And we want to make it really easy for people to engage with our brand. And during Black Friday, Cyber Monday, and in December, we want to make it fun too. Just it's that delight that everyone talks about giving those visitors that arrive on site. And where you can do that is by targeting these different cart and rescue website abandonment scenarios. So at the bottom here, you'll see that I have these different workflows from Just Uno that allow you to add this experience on site if someone is leaving, or add this experience on site if someone has XYZ in their cart and they're leaving. So all of this gamifying here happens before someone actually leaves your site, but they are giving that indication that they're going to leave. So this happens before your email sends, before your SMS sends, but we're still targeting those key or those top segments that are priority to you. So we have also when someone adds an item to cart, that's an action that you should be tracking on your website, and not only tracking, but also adding in some sort of engagement there. So literally just when they click on the add to cart button, if you don't have a slide out cart, like what is that experience for them to get to the next point? And then I do like to call out here, like gamifying for those VIP visitors or someone that is just browsing right now. That's where these workflows can help you really target the the most people right now that are visiting your website versus creating these different silos and these different segments. This is more like broad segmentation. You can think about it. So these are templates that are ready to use for you. It is in line with this whole theme of like it's last minute. We have like a week or so to get things tested out. Like these workflows have been tested. It's pulling from your website. So that's a reason I add gamification here. Here's some examples of being gamified or dynamic on your website. The classic here on the left is from one of our clients called Happy V, and they use dynamic shipping banners on their website to get someone to that next threshold of the offer. The whole goal here is increasing AOV. Really, I think this is like a really easy strategy to think out. And sometimes for marketers, it's like, okay, but how can I even drum up the logic and make sure no one sees this and that? And this is where Justuno comes to play because these banners live outside of your slide out cart. They live outside of the whole experience. They sit on the very top or the bottom of your website page, and they are adjusting dynamically based off of what someone is doing in real time. So whether they're adding something to their cart or traveling XYZ pages, you can serve up that tiered offer, which I've seen a lot of clients lean into the tiered offers this year for Black Friday, Cyber Monday. Here's another classic example of a branded spin to win. I love this one from BTO Sports. I don't have it in here. I don't know why, but they also have a tab included with this one, which is like a couple dice on their website. So when you click the dice, it opens up this spin to win. Very interactive. It changes colors. It's just something that grabs that attention on the website. And we get more into like the creativity of pop-ups there, right? But this is a solid example of we're just capturing one additional piece of information here that is really going to fuel those post holiday engagement. So it's the birthday. We do have the option if they don't want to submit their phone number, they can still get their coupon code. So this is a great example of if you are going to have your lead capture, like serve that discount code up in that session so that someone isn't going off of your page. They're not visiting another channel. Like that is a super frictionless experience with them having their code and it automatically applying to the cart page. There's tons of times I've been on websites where it's not the case and I submit my phone number or maybe I skip the phone number and I never get what I think is the prize for the email or submitting like the previous bit of information. So it's not just you, but it is very easy just to add a simple CTA in your lead capture that just links to the actual offer that you've been talking about. So we'll get more now into personalizing, and what I would prioritize right now for the holidays would be cart data, and then just referring to one or two of those properties that you're capturing. You can do that in real time. In those quizzes that we had, if you're asking like, what's their shopping preference or favorite color, birthday, whatever is the specific question for your brand, that's what we want to call out in that real session and actually serve up the right product recommendation. Give them a review that really resonates with what they said there. And that's what I'm talking about, like in using that data point in real time on that session. And you do that all within Justuno. Another area for personalizing is just browsing behavior. So what I'll call out here is that on your mobile and your desktop experience, it will be a little different in terms of browsing behavior. someone on desktop maybe browsing 4 pages before they exit versus someone on mobile, maybe they're only browsing 2. So that's something that's just very telling about the general traffic coming to those 2 devices. And that should adjust how you actually target in terms of those exits and the cart abandonment messaging because of like how maybe how aggressive you want to be, or don't have that much time with them on your website. So you do need to prioritize showing a pop-up maybe on their first page or their second page load, for example. I like this example here of the black and white because something that's been really cool that I see brands do where we kind of take it to that next level of engagement just throughout the whole website, right? Is understanding when your traffic is actually visiting your website. If they're visiting during the day, totally okay to have a nice bright pop up, right? If you tend to have those visitors that come at nighttime, which we probably all do, then you can lean into kind of those dark mode designs, which is you can see here, same design, a light mode, a dark mode. And that's something that you just have set up on your website to ensure that no one's closing out of something that is too distracting based on the time of day or whenever you see your traffic coming. So lots of ways to personalize. I think the easiest way is via banners. You're probably using your, I guess, probably your e-commerce platform banner or just like doing it on your own with your dev team. That definitely works. And during the holiday time, though, there's probably lots of different messages you would want to put out since we're talking about segmentation. And you can do that with banners in just, whether it be something that kind of scrolls through like you see here, or just with the workflow targeting, you can pick exactly who sees which banner and which offer that is if you are going to have multiple offers this season. So we'll get into subtle segmentation and targeting now. The whole idea with segmentation, right? I'm not trying to add so much to your plate right now. All this does in like a high level is we're building trust and authority and quality time on site. Ideally, every session, right, would be a converting session, but that doesn't always happen. So we have to look at these micro conversions that we can get out of these visitors that will only help your other channels offsite. It's going to help them open an email. It's going to help them open a text. And that's how all of these owned channels really work together best. So subtle segmentation, we can add that in the form of embedded educational items within your website. So you think of pop-ups, you think something that just pops up right on your website. Embedded is going to look like it's something that's native to the page. So I bring this up because now is probably not the best time to get dev involved, right? With things that you need to add to your website or things that how you want to enhance. So that's where we look to pop up so that you can change that dynamically. And maybe your embedded experience is adding the right carousel of product recommendations on a category page or on the product page. So that's actually you getting away from your e-commerce platform and leaning into different algorithms. Like, and just so you know, I think we have like 8 or 9 or so, but they're all curated algorithms that are serving up based off of what your intention, your goal is. And maybe that's for all past visitors or return visitors. We're showing what those really influential items are that have kind of gone through other channels, become really popular, and now everyone's buying them on site. And I've also seen brands really lean into like their own, like their internal team suggestion. So it's like what our team loves, and then they're pitching that product recommendation carousel. So something to consider if you already have product recommendations going on the website, that's great. I would explore adding 1 or 2 embedded experiences of product recommendations during this time where you're using those different algorithms or just an algorithm even that you've put together because that's like a great gift set. Cool. Looks like I've got some more time here, so I'm going to be wrapping it up soon. I'll get into examples of smart targeting here too. So we think about an enhanced experience. That to me is like, how are we being smart with the data? And to be smart here is like kind of to be quick with it. And so I have these examples of this first pop-up is a strategy where we are trying to increase average order value in that current session. So this fires for someone that is exiting the website and that has a certain amount in cart already. So you can see we're leaning into that intent. This is something that you could very easily add onto your website, just knowing like what is the base that you want someone to spend and what can you deliver in terms of value or a discount to get them there. We have this return session here in the middle. You might be surprised that this is just CTAs here, but Solly Baby executed this one beautifully. And this is a mobile example to really help with their on-site navigation. So that's a step two conversion, right? Someone not being able to find what they need on a website, super annoying, likely going to cause a bounce if they're coming from a paid channel. And what this exit offer or exit message does is let someone know what else there is to explore on the website. And these are all CTAs that the Solly Baby team knows is important or that other visitors tend to land on. So a lot of good info going into that one. And then we have this post-purchase option here on the right-hand side. If you don't have a branded post-purchase page, that's a-okay. This won't really apply to you unless you have something that's a little more branded or that just can be installed on. And that's where we are targeting based off of what we know about the opt-in. So if they've opted into email or SMS or text or not, here at the bottom, we have the product recommendations, as you can see, just based off of what they've already added to cart or maybe even what they were browsing. And then to take it back up here to the top, we have the dynamic banner that is just once again trying to get them into that second or third purchase wherever we're at. So this is where you can get into just some smart, quick targeting on your website that isn't necessarily showing them a discount code right there to convert, but we're just getting someone to the next step and considering those other KPIs that you have. This is an example of segmented targeting where very simply we are changing our lead capture to target all visitors landing on the homepage versus return visitors who didn't opt in. And our strategy here is like we're not trying to show them the same design over and over just to get that close. We want them to opt in that session and get them into that channel and engaged with you. I love this example from HappyV here on the right. They use this whole lead capture to target people coming from this collab that they did with another brand. So you can see we have the brand call out. We have a completely different image that syncs with that brand's colors as well. So very thoughtful, and just this is a great example of segmentation executed in lead capture. And what you'll find here from HappyV is their result of massive list growth. We did have that revenue growth because you can tell in our pop-ups we did have an offer related to that. High engagement rate when you compare it to that visitor that didn't get served these pop-ups, so what we call a control group, and then a conversion rate of 24+%, which is amazing to see when you're just considering these lead captures and what they did together. So we'll see experience in action here, kind of outside of what I just laid out. This case study encompasses product recommendations, like we've been saying. So we've got product recommendations on the product page and in cart. And then we also implemented an exit strategy for browse and cart abandoners. Hopefully this doesn't feel like a whole lot. Truly, it's these three pop-ups doing the work to deliver the metrics that you see here on the left. And with Justuno and these pop-ups, you are able to address more than just conversion rate, right? There's like so many little things in terms of metrics that contribute to that. And that's where we look at engagement rate and we look at AOV and like how many people are actually staying on your website. Lots of ways to do that, but I love their approach here with targeting key pages with this product recommendation tool, providing a quiz, or just skipping to a really helpful CTA. And then, of course, we've got a timer here. That's the classic active urgency right there, which if you don't have a timer on your pop-ups, I definitely would include that. So final comments, your Q4 tip kind of leading into a healthy Q1 is to add dynamic experiences to your website for your top segments that you've already addressed. And that can be as many as you can handle, right? 1 to 3 is even great to target on your website. And if you don't have the time, I would really focus on those cart and browse abandonment visitors in that segment since they've already shown a lot of intent throughout the whole experience. Let me take it to my last one. So thank you so much for having me. Please feel free to email me with any questions if you want a walkthrough of anything, if you want to see those templates again. We do also have a free conversion audit, which like I've kind of been saying, it's November 13th. So time is not on our side, but what you can do here is lean into building those segments and knowing exactly who you should spend your time on this season based off of everything that I've said here. Even just picking 1 or 2 will go a long way for you. What I'll throw here in chat for you is this template ebook that we've created that has like the top workflows that I've gone through today, But not only the workflows, it has a really sweet video where I walk you through what you need to update to make it branded, and we give you the strategy layout. So you know what page you're on, you're able to translate that to the rest of the team and really focus on syncing campaigns with that too.
Thank you so much, SJ. Such an amazing session. Everyone's sessions have been just so filled and jam packed with real tactical tips and examples that people can take away from here. There was also so much engagement in the chat, just going riffing off of each other, talking about different campaigns that they can run, different pop-ups that they can run. So very, very, very useful information in here. And before I let you go, my love, we are going to go ahead and choose your giveaway winner. And everyone, on behalf of Just Uno, SJ is going to be giving away a Visa gift card, which is perfect for this time of the year. Like I said earlier today in the webinar, when y'all get these gift cards, treat yourself. We're all working so hard to build fantastic brands. We deserve a little treat for ourselves. And that's the purpose of the giveaways during our webinars. So we're going to go ahead and choose this giveaway winner. And congratulations, Paloma Sosa. You are taking home a Visa gift card courtesy of SJ and the Just Uno team. Yay. Amazing. Thank you so much for joining us today, SJ. We will be chatting with you soon. Bye, love.
Thank you. Bye.
Okay, friends, we are going to head over to our next session and I will see you there.